You still have to pay the same amount that you.
The value went up. There was a shooting outside. The value of the house went up. We're gonna have to ask you for more money this year.
Last night, and my boss was like, "Yo, peep the stacks," and I was like, "Nice." It's neither of ours, unfortunately. Yeah. I was like, "I'm gonna take a picture," and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm just gonna take a picture." And I
Let's take a picture of your money. That's not well, actually not your money.
It's
either.
not his either. It was just in the communal like safe. So
Well,
I was like,
that Snapchat out of context, like especially with like the Snapchat caption on the bottom, like been going through a lot right now. Like,
it adds to the picture being painted. It's very interesting, actually.
I knew something was up when somebody called you Choppa.
Choppa? I didn't hear that. Oh, wrecked.
Somebody called you Choppa?
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Who are they?
Yeah. Watch this. No. Well, get disappeared real quick.
You see that guy suicide?
Yeah.
Hey, you better watch your step before I make you suicide. You.
It's very unfortunate these things happen. But we were talking off camera about the concept of like, I could finance a Rolex and look like I have a Rolex, and then like you got people who are paying like these. They have these things called collectors financing plans, which are like 144 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So you buy like an old Lamborghini, pay it at 144 months. You pay like $1,000 a month. You finance a Rolex or you finance an AP, and you're like your whole life is floating on credit, but you look like you have like this exuberant lifestyle.
Right, and the worst part is it's not even yours.
Yeah,
the bank owns it.
Yeah, the bank owns all of it.
It's the same concept with that picture you took of the cash.
Oh yeah,
it's like
fair.
of the 10 grand. It's the same concept of like, you know, obviously it's nobody's cash.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's fundraiser cash.
It was a fundraiser money.
But like, it's just like the fact of like taking the picture of it. But it's like a lot of people do that where, you know, they drive like an exuberantly nice car, but they pull up to like their job at a restaurant, like what they're just like a waitress or something, and it's just like it blows my mind of like they're doing it just for other people at that point. This got really deep really quick. We kind of just hopped right into the topic this morning. So I just want to say good morning or afternoon, whatever. But welcome to the Life Podcast. My name is Eric, and I'm here with Benji.
Hello.
Tyler.
What's up?
There you go.
Jeez.
I thought my voice was going to work, but it just
Just didn't turn on. Voice didn't turn on.
We're tired this morning.
Absolutely.
These things happen. We're tired every morning. It's not. It's winter. It's getting colder. That's the problem in Massachusetts.
Yeah, and everyone's getting sick.
Yeah.
We're going through a cycle of just everyone around us is going through like sneezing and coughing stages.
Even me, like I always pride myself with like I have a pretty good immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like get like most of the times like every year everybody gets sick and it's just like I don't get sick. This time I got hit a bit. So it's a serious strain.
I regularly overdose on vitamin C.
Fair enough.
Like all the time. And I don't know about overdose, but like I be taking like vitamin C tablets like all the time just to like kind of build up an immune system.
Huh.
So usually I don't get sick, but I did get hit. I was one of the first ones to get hit on this round, and I was kind of upset about it. It's funny though, because when you're sick, like I remember I was like out for a weekend, like out cold, bedridden for the weekend, and in my mind, like I was having a conversation, and then like I was talking to myself in like third person, and I was like, "We'll see how tomorrow goes. You know, if tomorrow goes all right, and I don't feel like completely tired, maybe we'll go do something." And I said, "We'll go do something" to myself.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I call myself. I said, Thomas.
Me and my 3 personality.
Yeah, because when you're sick, right, your mind and your like you have like the will to go do stuff, but your body is not on the same page at all. So your body's like, no, you're gonna lay down and you're gonna sleep and that's it, and you're gonna be able to get up for like 3 hours before you get exhausted if you need to sleep again. But like for me, it was just like, yeah, my body's not really signed up for anything, but I was ready to go. Like I'm ready to get stuff done.
I don't know. I don't think I get schizophrenic when I get sick.
I don't know if it's schizophrenic is a little extreme. I don't think it's schizophrenic, but I just think that our bodies are just like way weaker.
Yeah,
and it's got like so many limitations that the rest of that, if you like, we don't technically, our bodies force us to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Our bodies aren't capable of being awake 24 hours a day. But it's like if your body could, then we would. It's our body's no limitation.
I feel like my body just comes along for the ride, and my brain has like this internal conflict. Like every morning I'll get my alarm and it'll start ringing, and I'm all like, I could just pretend like this didn't happen. Like I could just. Nobody would know. Like nobody else is here. I could just pretend like my alarm didn't go off, and we could all just go back to sleep. And it's like me and myself. My internal monologue happening in my head. And I'm like, we could just pretend this didn't happen. And then I'm like, no, we can't. We got to go do stuff. We have things to do. And my body's like, well, we could just sleep. It's fine. It's like, no, we can't. It's unfortunate.
I hope that's relatable because Tyler's like looking at us like we're crazy. So apparently, maybe it's not everybody who has this internal monologue.
It is. I'm just not relating for entertainment purposes.
Tyler just doesn't want to accept it. He has like these auditory communications. He's like talking to himself.
Look into the mirror, see how wow, you really let yourself go.
Wow, correct.
Thomas has been feeding himself too many donuts.
I told him to stop, but he would not.
Who's Thomas? That's me. That's what I call myself.
It's my internal voice. I decided my name wasn't good enough, so I gave myself one.
Sorry, we're feeding something. And I
don't even know what we're talking about.
Fair enough. Nonetheless, we were talking about floating lifestyles on credit.
Yeah. And then I started talking about being sick.
Well, but that is also another thing, because as dumb as this sounds, people are so stuck on this concept of like, I want to follow a trend. I have seen people who will like actively try, like remember when you were kids and it's like somebody got chicken pox or whatever, and then it was like kind of like cool to
bring all hey Susie, bring all your kids over so they can get the chicken pox out of the way. We can all have chicken pox together.
That's so evil.
But yeah, it's like it's interesting like how this pack mentality develops. Even something as dumb as like a disease is like
diseases are dumb.
Yeah. No, but like the concept of like, let's all communally get this disease at once, so as opposed to getting it multiple times over the course of a couple of years or never at all, I guess.
Yeah. Confession, I never had chicken pox.
I never had chicken pox either.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
You did?
Really?
Oh, good for you.
It's kind of fallen out of style. Like, just nobody talks about it anymore.
Diseases just go out of style.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Alzheimer's, it was just a fad.
No.
This year, we're bringing polio back, boys.
Well, at this rate, yeah. Measles outbreaks and stuff like that. People need to step it up, guys. This is getting bad.
Yeah.
No, but legitimately, when was the last time you saw like an ad? Well, not like an ad, but like the last time somebody talked about chickenpox. Is this the last time somebody got chickenpox?
Yeah, it's been a while. Maybe it's just the circles that we run in. Like,
oh yeah, fair enough. I don't know.
How many
interact
kids are we
kids.
around?
Yeah, you interact with kids. How many kids are like? Oh, that sounds weird, but like you got a bunch of nieces and nephews. When was the last time one of them got chickenpox?
I don't know. I don't think they have. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, if they have it, I don't go around. So
fair.
But it's not like, I don't know, I don't get the memo. If they did get the chickenpox, I doubt I'd get the phone call.
Yeah,
like, hey, my kid has chickenpox. Like, I don't
get invited to the birthday parties, though. That's fine.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to get the chickenpox, y'all. I don't think I'm that important on the list.
Oh, fair. I feel like this disease has gone down.
Well, it's like, if you don't get it as a kid.
As opposed to up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, if you don't get it as a kid, you can get it as an adult,
and
right?
it comes back as like shingles.
Shingles.
And then it's like way more
I
dangerous.
still
way
don't
more
understand
aggressive.
what shingles is.
It's chickenpox on steroids,
They
apparently.
go on your roof, guys. Yeah. That's what I was opening up the joke. Come on, guys.
Listen, I'm gonna reach for the sky today. I'm not picking low hanging fruit like that. I'm pretty sure everybody else on the other side of this microphone right now
they
was
were
like,
ready.
It goes on your roof. They're on my house, man. I got an extra bundle of shingles if you need the shingles.
Shingles are so bad. Like they will serve a great purpose. You try to replace one, and then they're all different colors.
That's very personal.
No, it's true, and that's how you get the new like composite ones.
Yeah,
or like the whatever that material is.
The house is like
it's worth it.
It's always like the black or gray ones, you know, that I get, like that we get for the house, and it's like, if any one of them falls, then you see like it's like you got splotches of different color on the roof, and it's all like again, I probably overestimate the number of people that look at my roof because I don't look at anybody else's roof. But I feel
I look
like
at roofs all the time.
Do you? There you go.
No.
While I'm playing my fiddle.
Yeah.
I mean, as dumb of an example. Good joke, Tyler. Good.
I told you, I'm reaching high.
It took a couple seconds.
I still didn't get it. I hope y'all at home got
Fiddler
that
on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Eric.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as dumb as like that's kind of like a Portuguese thing where it's all like, guy, my shingles on my roof don't match. Like, who cares? But like that's kind of like a fad thing too, where it's like, who cares about the color of the shingles on your roof? Like, theoretically, we could all just have like mismatched colored shingles, and it doesn't really affect.
Listen,
anyone.
my house could be the healthiest house on the block, but I mean, yeah, I source my materials from like 5 different places.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the course of 3 years.
That's legit too. When you talk about like Portuguese culture too, and like floating a lifestyle on credit, there are a lot of people who maintain their houses just to keep up appearance.
Oh yeah,
like we've talked about on this podcast before. You have the beautiful front door, beautiful landscape, and you spend all this money on the outside of the house and the inside. I mean, you're living in the basement with unfinished walls and
yeah. But somehow there's always a new refrigerator coming in or a new table. Like there's this is gonna get really stereotypical really quickly. Like the guy on the corner store he give me credit. I pay him $100 a week and then I get the table. Like it's a new table, and it's like there's always that money going out to sustain this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's like you got this corner store. You got this corner store that like supplies this community of individuals with stuff or like basically junk for their houses. You know what I mean?
what you talking about? Something like errands?
No, well, yeah, but that's like a scam.
Yeah,
but like
Rent-A-Center.
But like not. Yeah, I don't understand how. Okay, public service announcement: Rent-A-Center is a scam. Listen. You cannot. You don't pay monthly for stuff that you can just buy. Just save the 4 months payment and then just buy it. It's not. This like instant gratification is putting people into so much debt. It's sad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we talk about?
There's a reason why Rent-A-Center and errands and everything like pop up like right next to the projects.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you can get a PlayStation 4 for $12 a month. It's like, but you gotta buy it for the next 27 years. It's like,
right?
It's very helpful.
It's a collector's investment.
And you come pick it up if I don't pay.
Yeah.
Like they'll be banging on your door in a week.
Yeah.
You mean I have to pay every month on time? You wanted to talk about something, Eric?
No, I was just gonna bring up that article you read this morning.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, we got nothing else to talk about.
Well, you said debt, and I was just like, so Sallie Mae employees.
Yeah.
Sallie Mae is, if you don't know, is a company that
They own debt.
Yeah, they own debt. The debt, essentially debt collectors for student loans, and they celebrated their new achievement of hitting a new high of
$5 billion
in debt, not collected debt, just debt.
Just debt. So I don't think Sallie Mae is a collector. I think that they're just the debt seller.
Okay. And then they have collectors. Maybe not.
So
the government is their collector, I guess.
I think that from my understanding, the way that this works is the government issues the bank, Sallie Mae in this case, a fund. Mm-hmm. Technically, it's all fake, so it's not really relevant. But they give them an allowance.
Yeah.
And then they distribute that to people. I think they're just a distributor of debt, which sounds horribly like
long story
short.
They celebrated their new heights of debt issued.
Yep.
And they sent 100 of their employees to Hawaii to celebrate on one of the most expensive hotels on the island. Uh-huh. And they're celebrating their new achievements. And it's like, I understand that, you sign off contracts, you get these debt collected. Just don't show off about it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they didn't publicize it. There was just like, there was a news article written about it. I'm sure it takes a lot to secretly ship 100 people to Hawaii. Like, there's obviously going to be someone who's involved in that.
Somebody calls to pay their bill. They're like, "Oh no, we can't collect that right now. Why not? We're celebrating."
Yeah,
I
think Hawaii. It was an execs. The execs were bringing the sales team. So, but like, I feel like there should be more than 100 people on the sales team. This might be just like high level as opposed to low level bank stuff. But that's crazy. $5 billion in a year.
I just wanted to point that out, like, because you said the amount of debt that's in, like, people are just an exuberant amount of debt. And like this is one of those things where it's just like it's gone overboard, where like there is so much debt and it's never all going to be collected.
And it's crazy because we perpetuated in society that you're not a success unless you like go and have student debt or like have a degree, even if you don't use it. How many people do you know that don't use their degree that they went to school for?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I before we go to the break really quickly, I have this nice little quote. If you owe the bank $100, that's your problem. If you owe the bank $100 million, that's the bank's problem. The trick is to either never go into debt or to go so much into debt that your financial survival is in the interest of the people you owe money to. And that's like the way that America deals with its thing.
Yeah, that's
so
exactly
it's
how they
like
deal with it.
it's either if you owe too small of an amount, that's your problem. You're gonna get debt collected. Like if you owe Aaron's $57, that's your problem. If the United States government owes China $2 trillion, that's China's problem.
They're gonna
That's not
protect
my
you. They're gonna keep you alive for a while.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about that when we get back, or something else. I really don't know.
Stay tuned.
We would like to thank Anchor for sponsoring and hosting the Life podcast. So who are Anchor and what do they do? Anchor is the all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to make and publish your podcast. And best of all, it's all free. Anchor allows you to use their creative tools to record and edit your podcast. No need for any fancy professional equipment. Sounds amazing, right? And we haven't even gotten to the best part. Anchor isn't just a recording and editing platform. They're a publisher too. This means that Anchor takes care of all of the hard stuff, like publishing to Apple and Google Podcasts, so you don't have to. So what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Another thanks to Anchor for hosting, publishing, and sponsoring the Life podcast.
hit it up.
Tyler says that he wants us on air. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I saw this beam this morning. It said history will be made. The first ever all-female spacewalk will happen in the next 48 hours. So they're sending 2 women out into space,
I thought that was yesterday, but that's fine.
or whatever,
Okay,
Yeah.
so 24 hours.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that they mock simulated what it would be like.
Oh no, this is gonna end so bad.
Houston, we have a problem. Go ahead. What's the problem? You know what? Never mind.
Oh my gosh. No.
No. What's the problem? Just forget it. I'm fine. It's okay. Hello. And I mean, I guess that's the essence of all.
That's so bad.
I tried to play that up the best I could.
Oh my goodness. I have no comment.
I got nothing to get. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know this is a male and female podcast, but how many times has that occurred to anybody?
Oh, I mean, yeah, especially.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Nothing.
No, you know what? No, never mind. I'm fine. It's like,
And then they proceed to spend the next 2 hours not saying
not
a
saying
word.
a word. Oh yeah, and it just comes out somewhere. I think it's funny when. I just think it's. Benji's about to spit his coffee out.
Fine. Yeah.
Whenever the waitress comes around, you smile.
Yeah, right.
But when I come around, you don't.
Do you remember when we went to Arby's when we were on vacation 3 years ago? And you smiled at Karen?
This is bad.
This is
this
getting
is deep
very,
rooted. This is deep rooted stuff.
This is getting very oddly specific very quickly.
It's all deep rooted.
Yeah, like this is like you guys need to have some group counseling sessions.
I'm so thankful I'm not in a relationship like that anymore.
Yeah, honestly,
I like how
I've
that
never-
massive asterisk just went over all of that. Everyone just went plausible deniability. It's like, listen, no comment.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Well, all right. There's that.
and there's that. Becky, I love you. Thank you so much for being so wonderful.
Oh yeah.
That was not commentary on our relationship. That was just a meme.
Not at all.
I threw that asterisk up real quick.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, no.
Eric was all like, I'm not getting it for this one.
I'm just
Not
saying.
my
I've seen
joke, boys.
I've seen that movie a couple times.
I've seen a lot of movies a lot of times. Well, fair enough. That was
Apparently NASA saw it too.
Yeah. Well, there you
I
go.
don't know how it went actually. It was yesterday. I think that happened.
So when's the landing? Is it today? Or
no,
it'll be in
It's
40
a
hours?
spacewalk. It's just they just go outside and they do something and
Fix
then they go
some
back
stuff,
into the
walk
thing.
around.
Like
Oh.
on the International Space Station.
Look at the foliage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like there's
Oh.
there's astronauts
I
there.
figure there's robots for that by now, right?
Well, there's
Oh.
the Canadian arm, but that's not really.
Okay, fair enough.
That just grabs stuff.
I guess I overestimated. I overestimated.
Oh, fair enough.
I thought
The last time that they were supposed to do this was supposed to be planned a couple of years ago, from my understanding. But they only had one female spacesuit on the space station at the time, so they couldn't do it. Which I feel like is poor planning on NASA's part. Where like how do you forget how many spacesuits you have? Like NASA's like, hey, why don't we have an all-woman spacewalk? And then somebody was like, yo, we only have one woman's spacesuit. And it's like, how do you forget that? Like, out of all people, like NASA, like,
Well,
you
you probably
should know.
thought it was like unisex, so you probably thought like one size fits all.
I would have assumed so. Like, I don't understand, like, how, like, okay, listen. I
Other than, like,
understand. I
sizing.
understand there's basic differences. Yes, thank you, Tyler. But like, like they're bulky. They're not like form fitting. Like, how are you supposed to? There has to be some like mechanical difference in between the suits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
I don't know
enough about
space
space.
physics. I have no idea.
What are we talking about?
Space physics. You're the one who started with this joke.
Yeah, you sent us in a loop, guy.
You know, guys, I'm fine.
We were talking
I'm fine.
about debt.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking. I've been trying to figure out what we've been talking about. Like this is for the last 5 minutes.
The space station is the most expensive structure ever built. Side
Talking
note.
about debt.
Yeah, talking about that. Yeah, most
And
expensive.
then we wonder why
structure
we're
ever.
in trillions of dollars.
Well, I mean, it
That's
was
a whole
a
other-
conglomeration effort. Conglomeration. It was like a conglomerate effort It was
Between
by a
different
bunch of us.
nations,
Yeah,
yeah.
Canada was a part of it. I think Japan was a part of it.
Canada was just like, yeah, let's do it.
They built an arm. They were pretty legit. Like
Yeah.
that helped like grab stuff.
That's what they do.
Legit.
The Canada arm, boys.
Okay.
So let's open up the show notes.
Tyler started off like he had something to say. Like he was like ready to rock and roll.
Listen, boys. I
Well,
got
we were
nothing to say,
talking
like I
about
said.
debt. It's just like, does nobody want to have that conversation?
Listen, my hands are in the moss. So I'm in debt with student loan debt. So it's
Oh,
like,
oh,
so it's
fair
like one
enough.
of those things where
Is that why you're
I don't
bitter?
have perspective.
Is that why you're bitter that 100
100 of them are
CEOs
over there
with
just
Maui?
dancing and having a good time on my fund that I haven't paid yet.
Average student debt.
Wait. So if you haven't collected the debt yet, what money are you spending?
The debt that's currently being collected.
Yeah, you're
Listen,
it's all very accrual for them.
you make as much residual as possible, okay? And then you sell to the guys. Like you get like so
Bunch
there's
of
like
IOUs
companies.
everywhere.
You could side note, you can register as a debt collection company and try to buy you can't buy your own debt, that's illegal. But like let's say if we'll use Eric now as an example because like you guys both so Eric, you have the student loan and you have a mortgage. I could theoretically create a company
And buy it
that
from
buys
us.
debt. If both of you go into default, I could then buy the debt and then just forgive your debt. That is a process that happens. It's very sketchy and you're not supposed to do it. And you're not really able to figure out who you're buying,
Yeah.
whose debt you're buying. There's this guy who does like a late night show. He bought like $1 million worth of defaulted debt and just forgave all of it, and it was like the biggest
Wow.
TV show like
That's pretty cool.
debt thing. And it was just random people.
But by forgive, you have to pay it.
well, no.
Someone's paying.
Well,
that.
he bought it. So
Yeah.
like his company, the
Oh,
company
So okay,
he
all
bought
right.
it at
Okay,
like the
that makes more
TV
sense.
station or like the internet TV station, whatever it was. Created a company, bought like $100,000 or $1 million worth of debt, and then forgave the debt and like sent out letters and said like, "Oh, listen, your debt's forgiven."
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was I don't remember who it was, which is unfortunate because this was a great thing. But he
Nicki
would
Minaj.
no, no, but it's the right idea. He was doing he did like commemoration speech at the graduation speech,
Yeah.
and everyone who was graduating that class, he was like, "I'm paying everyone's debt."
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
one of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
billionaires,
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad y'all remember that. So yeah, like that's just like, but that's not anonymous. So is that not the same idea?
Well, it's not.
But
No, because
he
he's.
didn't buy it.
it
He
didn't
just
go
paid for
default.
it.
It
He
didn't
just
go
paid for
default.
it,
Okay.
No,
yeah.
he just
It
wrote
didn't
a
go default.
check, which is
Okay.
pretty baller, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
It didn't go default. That's the
Yeah.
difference. Okay, so once it goes default, and then like that third
Or you
party
can
person
buy it. You can buy it
consumes
when it's not defaulted, but you're
It's cheaper when
trading
it's
back and
defaulted,
forth.
right?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper because you don't know if you're ever going to get it back.
Yeah. So okay.
And apparently debt trades hands very quickly, like a lot. Like you can have like a debt, like a mortgage,
Especially
let's
in
say.
real estate. Real estate
Yeah.
debt transfers very fast.
Yeah, because you get paid interest every month.
Mhm.
So it makes sense to say, okay, I'm going to keep this for 3 years. I got a bunch of interest on it. I'm going to unload it for what it's worth, like 90% or 80%, and just unload it to somebody else. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't really know how like comfortable I would be with being a debt trader. I guess that would be the term.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a better term for it. Unfortunately, we're coming at this very
Death dealer, yeah.
Jeez.
What was I? No,
No.
buffering. Don't
Okay,
don't
Tell us, like-
don't talk to me.
Eric and I went to an antique store yesterday.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
We did.
We did. Yeah, that was actually really cool. We this is the second one we've hit.
Yeah.
And don't ask us why. We kind of go in looking for like props for like shoots and stuff. So we kind of go in with a very open mind, but we usually end up finding some very interesting stuff.
There's so much junk that people have.
said
like it's
interest-
expensive.
Yeah.
But like
Expensive junk.
it's expensive junk, and it's but like how, like I don't understand how businesses last. Like there is this warehouse. We've been to 2 warehouses basically.
Yeah.
Which were old factories, because in the area we live there was a really big textile and fishing industry, and there's a bunch of factories that are just empty now. And what they do is people buy them and they just put stuff in them. So 2 of these factories have now become antique stores.
One of them was like an acre
Yeah.
of size. This one was much smaller, but still pretty big.
They're massive.
Yeah.
And it's just like filled with stuff. And I'm like, how do you pay the rent? Like,
It's just a garage sale, like a 24-hour garage sale. I mean, that's all that is. Like, it just keeps going. Because at that point, you're just selling stuff that even you don't really, for the most part, want. Because like we saw a painting that was a really nice painting, but $975
Hey,
for a
hey.
And I was like, that's kind of crazy.
and it was just hanging on the wall too. Like it's like people like randomly made up prices and were like, oh
Yeah, let's write it on there. If they're willing to pay it, then I'm willing to sell it.
yeah, fair enough. There's this
I wonder
guy.
if you could go and just undercut. Be like, I'll give you $25.
I mean, you probably could try. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of like negotiations that go on in there.
Theoretically.
They probably got the painting for free. Like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
that's what I was
absolutely.
saying.
Oh yeah.
like what are you doing trying to sell it for $975? I mean, you can ask any price you want for anything. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, from my understanding, it's like they seem to be sectioned off in booths, and like everything has a number on it, which I assume is like the vendor number. And I guess you just show up and collect the money if you have any money. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like a consignment.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of like a consignment shop. But side note, there was this. What was
I
it
didn't
that
think
it
of
was
that.
like? It was like. Like 375 crossed out, 350 crossed
Oh
out.
yeah, I don't even know what it was, but it was just like 375 with a cross through it, 340 with a cross through it, 325 firm.
Yeah. I was like, it's obviously not firm.
Like you dropped the price twice, you didn't even change the tag out.
A lot of random stuff though. Like it's interesting to me. Like I was having this conversation with Eric, and I think that's like we're not gonna have stuff like that. Like in 50 years,
it's gonna be filled with our junk. It's
yeah.
gonna be
But like,
interesting.
what junk do we have? It's gonna be filled with GoPros. Like, is that really what it's gonna be? Like
stuff that doesn't even last. Like, think about like the cleanouts I've been doing lately. Like stuff from like the 50s and 60s. All these big heavy steel tables and all these old tools that were built to last. And it's like all the stuff we have now. We were talking about that Polaroid iZone or whatever. It's like those things don't even they don't work if you do have them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about like the quality of the stuff that we have now. Probably wouldn't even last in it. Like
It's trash.
to make it to an antique shop.
Your battery's cooked. Like you can't fix that. They don't make batteries to redo again. Like say in like 20 years. Like that GoPro sitting over there for our Patreon subscribers. Like
Yeah, it's all plastic. I
yeah,
mean,
you wouldn't be able to refurbish that. I mean, you'd have
Yeah.
to be really skilled to be able to do it.
and even if you did, like, what's the point?
Yeah,
Like,
it's antiquated.
Yeah, we're gonna have digital antique stops. It's gonna be awesome.
I don't think that's going to be a thing. Like,
No, I
I
don't
mean,
think so
physical
either.
stuff like this, these microphones, maybe, because they're physical. But at that point, like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we have mechanical. Like, I just bought a mechanical camera because I like the concept and like I like shooting on film, and it gives that special like feel to it.
Je ne sais.
But it's like, yeah, je ne sais quoi. But like, it's like, it has a thing. It has like a reason because it's analog.
Or even talk about video games. Like, once you get to a certain place, like vintage systems are really big, but it's analog 64-bit, 32-bit systems. And then once you get past like cartridges, everything becomes emulators and it's all digital on the computer.
Yeah, because what's the point of having a PS2 when you could just run it on your desktop and your desktop's like, this is easy. It's not a hard thing to run.
It's very niche stuff. You
Yeah.
got to find the collectors.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
discs don't last.
No, they don't.
They don't last.
They don't even like they don't even work now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. They don't even work.
They didn't work back then. They work when they're brand new. The minute you drop it once, it's cooked.
Yeah. What are you supposed to have? Like a discount bin full of just random discs like on top of each other? They're not going to work. None of them are going to run.
yeah.
I found an old CD and cleaning out my parents' house. I found an old CD and some of my old. I thought I didn't have any more toys as a kid, but I found some like cars and Batman and stuff. And I found this.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. That's a really cool nostalgic moment.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I found an old CD in there, and I went and threw it in my CD player. Cooked. Didn't want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, didn't even. No, I didn't even get any of that.
No, nothing.
I didn't even play.
Oh, wow.
The CD player was cooked too.
I would hope not. My truck's pretty.
Oh, it was the truck that you
Oh,
did. I
it's
thought
a
it was a CD player at the house.
That's an interesting concept. My car doesn't have a CD player.
No,
Because it's dead.
Well, no, I understand that, but like my other,
But
I
you have a
just
backup
never even
camera.
thought of it. Yeah, but I do have a backup camera.
And,
Yeah.
and Apple Play.
And Apple, which costs probably that one feature probably costs more than the rest of the car. You know, it's like that center console was the most expensive portion. Of
they built the car around that.
Yeah.
The motor was built around the center console.
They were
of
like,
the car.
listen, like there's Chevy definitely had to come in less than $7,500 cost for that car, and they were like, listen, we need to put this backup camera in, and that was like the most expensive expense line. It's like government regulations. I gotta put a backup camera in a $7,500. Look behind you. It's like,
Well, get out the car.
yeah, absolutely.
And the ducks are here. And we'll be back. Stay tuned.
In 2011, like I'm trying to remember, like
I don't know, guy. I got a big blank spot in my life about up to 2011 or so.
That was like 8 years
when
ago.
was
idea.
Charlie Bit My Finger? That was a minute.
That
kid's probably like-
that could have been 2011 for all I know.
That was one of the first viral videos. I remember that video. Such a weird- Yeah. The internet was a weird place at that time. The internet is still a weird place, but
Yeah,
you kind of got to dig for the weird now, as
Yeah.
opposed to.
Yeah, the weird just doesn't pop up on like trending.
The YouTube overlords have spoken.
YouTube trending was like Charlie Bit My Finger. Oh, that kid who learned to ride a bike. That was a video for a long time.
What?
He gave- yeah, this kid like rode a bike for the first time and gave like this motivational speech, and it was like this big YouTube thing.
No, I don't
None
know.
of you remember this?
No, I don't remember that one.
You see, like I was like just getting into the internet when YouTube was like starting to roll, so I remember all of these
Listen,
random little things.
As much as
We
we
were
jive
in-
and vibe,
we-
you forget the actual distance we
yeah.
are away from
yeah,
each other.
yeah. We were on YouTube before there was ever a roll.
Well, fair.
Listen, I'm telling you, I was watching beheading videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
like
fair.
that was a different day.
Well, yeah, back in the day, YouTube was crazy. Like I remember the first interaction that I had with YouTube was on iOS. Like so, I never used like the OG
Yeah,
website. It was years before I went on the
sorry for
YouTube
you.
website.
yeah.
But I remember when the YouTube icon on iOS was a TV, which was fun. That was kind of fun.
Instead of that little play button.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they took it off like it was pre-baked with iOS, and then Apple was like, yeet, because you got bought by Google, which I think is what the reasoning was, and then they just stopped.
Yeah,
integrating
that would
it.
make sense.
Yeah, after YouTube got bought by Google, they did a lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
I'm sure there was a lot of debt. Just to tie that in to the show
Yeah,
today.
yeah, just to bring it all together, there was debt there too.
I'm sure.
You don't get bought out without debt.
I don't think you like in a company. You don't run a company in America without debt. Like,
no, absolutely.
usually.
Well,
that's why we talk about like not even making this political, but like when people try to like go and like there's that big push to see like President Trump's tax returns. I'm like, you probably wouldn't want to see him anyway because he's gonna look broke on paper for for all
Absolutely.
intensive purposes. It's like
listen. So what I learned in college that there's 3 types of accounting paperwork. There's the ones that you show the business owners. There's the ones that you'd show the IRS, and then there's the real ones.
Yeah.
All of them are different.
Absolutely.
that's that piece of paper and all that money stashed underneath the bed there, boy.
Absolutely, guy. There's like a hot dog stand near us, and we were looking at it, and the whole thing is a cash business. And we're looking at the back, and there's like 1,000 hot dog buns ready to go, or no, they're already used.
Yeah.
And it's like what?
Well, like the cases, not the
Like
buns.
the cases, yeah. Used hot dog buns. They're using them again. Sorry, yeah. The empty cases of where the hot dog buns were. And we're just like doing the math, and it's like the amount of money that this place shovels out in cash is like, and how much they probably show to the IRS is 2 very different
Oh,
numbers.
absolutely. This guy.
So this is all assumptions. I don't know for sure.
It's that hot dog math.
Yeah, the hot dog.
The hot dog math. They're like, no, like legitimately. Let's talk about this guy's business structure. He runs a hot dog stand right next to a high school. It's basically the size of a 2-car garage, maybe a 1-car garage, about a 1-car garage.
You're blowing this dude's spot up right
No,
now.
listen. Hey, listen,
if
it
you're
is what
anywhere
it
in
is.
the area, you know exactly what you're talking about.
I hope this guy. Hey, listen, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not gonna go look up his tax return. It's not really relevant. Look, the guy makes. Whenever you pass by, there's always a line of people. Always a line of people. This guy easily sells 1,000 hot dogs a day. Easy. Like, he probably wholesale imports these hot dogs for like 3-4 cents each. Sells them for like $1.25. This guy, on paper, this guy makes max $25,000. In the actual, like, legitimately, this guy's probably pushing at least $500,000 a year. Easy.
Yeah, there's your that's why you buy the laundromat, and that's why you buy the pool hall. So you get that cash.
Look, rule of thumb: if you see a business where a lot of people are going and it's a cash only business, Uncle Sam has no idea, quote unquote, no idea what's happening there. He knows. Uncle Sam knows. It's not worth it though.
Well, that's why
that's the way to do it.
That's why there's such a big push to remove cash and just go all all
No.
digital.
No.
But that's what the push is, so that you can stop so you can avoid this type of stuff where people are still be able to go under the radar.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not saying that he's going under the radar. I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
just the assumption. He might be.
Hey, listen.
I don't judge him for doing
I
it.
don't. Yeah,
I don't either. But it's just like we don't know. We're just kind of talking.
Listen,
but
36% of $500,000 is a lot of dollars, guy.
yeah, absolutely, guy. Absolutely. Once you hit that next tax bracket, they don't play.
No, absolutely not. Hey, and it's a tough situation, and it's like that's why. Again, not super political. That's why a lot of people were discussing, hey, listen, if we have one tax bracket, if everybody pays 10%, let's say, in taxes, there is no incentive to fake it. There's no incentive to lie.
Yeah.
Because if you just say, hey, every dollar that I make, I'm gonna pay 10%, it is what it is. There's no point in me paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for accountants on my payroll to try to make up numbers. And when it's 36%, absolutely. 36% on a couple $1 million is a lot of dollars. 10%, Apple would pay 10% taxes. And that's where like the conversation comes in, where it's all like, why don't we just charge less in general? And then less people. The problem isn't how much money people pay in taxes. The problem is how much people fake the money that comes in the door.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I actually never heard that conversation being had, but that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a hit, because I don't know what the taxes rate are now. I know that the lower end's like 12%, and then it goes all the way up to like 30, depending on where you fall. But I mean, you definitely take a hit. But I mean, I think the honesty that comes out of it would probably make up a lot of ground.
You'd make way more money if there's no point in cheating, because the big boys know how to do this. Like, listen. It's a known loophole in business. If you have a big business, incorporate a smaller business, unload all of your debt to the smaller business, and then just bankrupt the smaller business. That's a known tactic.
Literally, if you haven't, if anyone's listening, if you haven't yet, literally Google Hollywood accounting, and that's pretty much that in a nutshell. And it's like how they did pretty much all the movies from up until like 10 years ago was through Hollywood accounting, and you would pretty much do stuff like that, where you would own the distribution company, you would own the production company, you would own this, but you would third party pay them. So this would all come out of your profit line. And then there was movies like Star Wars where they would sign contracts with the actors saying that you'll get 3% of the profit, but on paper they never made profit.
Yeah.
So there was people that never got paid.
That's what it is.
And so Hollywood accounting, very, very dark times.
Again, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm
No,
saying
but
that
it's a game.
you can't ignore that.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you're doing, if you're running a government in this case, based off of the concept of how much money you tax people, if this is something that's going on, obviously you're going to try to squeeze more money out of the people who are already paying. You know, because you have people who are on paper making $0, like we use Donald Trump as an example because everybody likes to use him as a whipping board. Donald Trump probably pays like a very minimum amount of taxes because technically the person Donald Trump makes almost no money. His companies make millions of dollars a year. In the same way that these top execs at like Facebook and like Mark Zuckerberg gets paid $1 a year.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg does not make $1 a year. Mark Zuckerberg makes millions, if not billions of dollars in interest on the properties and the things that he owns. But that's not technically income.
Right.
In the sense that
the uneducated public would look at something like that and be like, this dude's actually broke.
yeah. If you look at somebody on paper, they're worth way different amounts than what they actually are.
And
Absolutely.
And that's crazy. We're not a political podcast. We're not talking in that fashion too. But what sense does it make also, like, when you see these politicians come out with these, like, tax plans, like, we're just going to tax the rich, like, until we have enough money to do whatever we need to do. It's like, and then once they run out of money, everybody runs out of money.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
It's a problem for later.
That's cutting the top of the sheet and just, like, sewing it onto the bottom and thinking you have a bigger blanket.
Yeah, no, that's actually really good. That's a really good analogy.
And there's a hatred that's imbued in society right now, and
Because of the
it's really
separation.
sad
It's a separation because like the top 10% make up for the bottom 90.
because you're squeezing the middle, guy.
Yeah.
Because
There is
you're-
no middle.
Yeah,
There is no
because
middle.
because of this concept of just logically.
You're either in debt or you're not.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well,
There is-
yes,
Absolutely.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Just logically, okay. If somebody comes to you and say, like, I understand, and my boss has very different political views than I do, so we have this conversation a lot, and it's like, well, then people just don't like to help other people, and I'm like, no, like, people want to help other people, but it takes a very strong person to write a check for 36% of every dollar that you make.
Yeah.
If you make $25 million, I don't want to get the number wrong here. If you 25 times 0.36 for $9 million to write a check for $9 million a year, that's a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, well, you made $25 million, so $9 million is nothing to you. But $9 million is $9 million. You know, and it's like,
Absolutely. That'll hurt anyone's soul.
Or,
Yeah.
or
to
even
write
so,
that
you
down.
know, like I've talked about this with a lot of my friends when it comes to like debt and taxation and everything. I mean, having to pay like property tax for land that you own every single year,
yeah.
or anything, like it's like I bought this, and then I get sunk with like thousands of dollars
Yeah.
every month because I own this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
how do you continue to do something like that?
And then the value changes randomly.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, on a whim.
Get me started on
Oh,
that.
this property that's worth $300,000. It's now worth $180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You still have to pay the same amount that you.
The value went up. There was a shooting outside. The value of the house went up. We're gonna have to ask you for more money this year.
Yeah, your house is worth $380,000. Give me $380,000 this house.
If you give me $380,000, I'll pay the tax. If you're not gonna give me that, like
Buy the house.
quote unquote value. Oh, jeez.
No, that's so crazy.
This is a very, very quickly, like, I understand. Like, we're all very closely politically aligned, but it's very quickly, it's really easy to see the way that we lean.
Oh, absolutely. It's yeah. Well, you got to watch in order to learn that. And if you don't sign up for Patreon, you won't know the behind the scenes. So it's only $1 a month to get us on Patreon,
Yeah.
and you can hear us all the
And you can
behind
pay
the
our
scenes.
taxes.
You can pay our taxes because we're having a hard time.
Paid on $1 a month.
Absolutely.
Anything else, boys? Seeing that we just kind of we freeform this one today.
Went on a political rant.
Well, I think that practical life application, the interest either works for you or works against you. And the idea is to eventually get your finances to shift so that your interest is eventually, you have more percentage in interest than you are paying. 27% on a credit card will definitely get you into debt very quickly.
Oh yeah.
But the money that pays you, you know what I mean, is like 2-3% on CDs and stuff like that. But you have to. That's a slow shift.
It has to be the shift.
It has to be the shift, and that's why the rich stay rich. Is because their interest works for them, and then the poor just keep buying things when they don't have the money.
Well,
and you got to pay that heavy interest.
see, there's a strategy, and a lot of people want that instant gratification, like we were talking about Aaron's. Oh, I can pay $12 a month on this PlayStation 4 until I'm 90. Like, oh, like hot dog, I can have it though.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, exactly.
you don't see a lot of people that take it on the chin for the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever years until you can get the money to have your money make money for you. It's like, I'm just gonna stay in debt. I'm gonna continue to stay in debt and make the bare minimum and sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But like, just make just enough money to be able to pay my bills so that I don't get swallowed and they don't take my house.
Absolutely.
When it's like, okay, well, if you would have took it on the chin and not bought that PlayStation, that instant gratification for. I mean, I'm not saying video games are wrong. It's just that was the thing we talked about.
No, I don't have a. I don't
That
have a
giant flat screen TV or
Yes,
that
absolutely.
blender or whatever that was $400 at Aaron's.
Yeah.
Like,
What's that proverb? The borrower is servant to the lender.
that's exactly it.
And that's really what it is. And you have to be very careful because when you're in need, you'll sign off anything to get the cash. It doesn't. I don't care what the percentage is. You'll probably sign it, and then that will pay. You'll be paying that for a very long time.
Right, and we forget that money is a tool, and you can make money work for you. And
Absolutely.
that's the number one fallacy that gets lost in America. And the rich and the successful understand that, and everybody else stays at the consumer level of I just want, I need.
Yeah, because you can't blame people. Are like the people, the rich are like they're trapping the people in this 9 to 5, and it's like, listen, if you work 9 to 5 for your whole life, you're never going to be quote unquote rich. You might make $1 million, you might make $2 million over the course of your life, which is great, but you're not going to own a yacht down in Mali if you're working 9 to 5. That's just the thing. Residual income is the way to make money in America. It's how can I make money that makes me money without doing anything.
That passive income.
That's
Passive income
it.
is everything.
That and compound interest will either sink you or it will make you fly. You have to understand compound interest, the way that it works, the understanding that it's not 27% total, it's 27% a year on a credit card.
Yep.
And it's like there's the prime rate, and there's so many. Listen, in America, everybody's pulling for you. This is the land of pull for you. And
Pull
if
for
you,
yourself, yeah.
You cannot walk into any negotiation, whether it's with a AAA company or whether it's with the guy down the street selling you the chair, without knowing everything that's going on in that conversation. You don't sign up for something unless you know what you're getting into. And Aaron's and Rent-A-Center and all these different companies and it's 0% for the first month and then it goes up to 84% or 34% payday loans. That's not helping anybody. Just you gotta understand what you're getting into. And this perpetuation of ignorance and this perpetuation of everybody, oh, boo-hoo, I'm sad because I do all of this stuff and I got myself into this situation isn't really helping anyone.
Absolutely. Well,
this was a random show today.
Yeah, but maybe we'll go back. We'll listen to this and then we'll see what we can do to answer some questions.
yeah.
And
And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them.
yeah, please.
Thank you for listening to the Life Podcast Show. We really appreciate all your support. We meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning just to talk and share our perspectives on everyday life situations. If you haven't already, please share this with your friends and give them a chance to join the conversation. Also, if you liked what you heard today, rate our podcast. The higher the rating, the longer we can keep this going. And a special thanks to our future sponsors that will soon partner with us on this journey. If anyone would like to contact us, please email us at thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. One word. That's thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. Be blessed and have a wonderful day.